What episode is it?
370.
370.
And we're good.
Hey, welcome. What's going on? This is episode 370 of the one and only IT in the D Show, broadcasting live from our quarantined homes. And I think looks like August is in his office. You can find us online, itinthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah. So, and as per usual, no events. No, not. We're not doing those. That's just not going to be a thing for a while. We'll figure that out as we go. Yeah. And so, I mean, we might as well dive right in. I mean, the whole reason why we've got Augie here, he is not just the alcoholic enabler that he is at Whiskey in the Jar, but he is the city clerk.
But he's very good at that too.
He is. He's very good at both of his jobs.
Thanks, guys.
You're responsible about it. But no, so he is the city clerk for the city of Hamtramck, and as we are now 2 weeks away from election time. Thought
2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to, hey, let's just talk about what's going on. I mean, you hear, everything from, mail-in ballots are fake to there's going to be militias posted outside of, voting locations and that kind of crap. So let's get somebody we know and like to give us, what are you seeing and what are you hearing and what should people really know about this nonsense?
Dave, well, it's also called Corona Eradication Day, coronavirus.
Right. That's yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on. It's always good to play podcast tour with you guys again. And I especially like doing it about something that's as serious as my day-to-day professional job. So we have City of Hamtramck, as you know, is surrounded by Detroit. So we get a lot of Detroit voters coming in here because they're actually closer to my city hall than they are their own. I get a half dozen Detroit ballots in my Dropbox every day.
Really?
So yeah. So this is an example of I got an Auburn Hills ballot today in my Dropbox. It's
okay.
Whatever. We make sure they get where they're going.
Bob was having a doner kebab and figured since he was right there.
Yeah.
That actually might have been it. Let's be real.
Yeah. One of the biggest sources of confusion that I come across is the fact that there's a lot of national news around the election right now, and every state has different voting laws. Mm-hmm. Every state has different early voting, different signature requirements, different everything. And so you get people
Don't different cities also?
No, different cities do not. It's all run by the state. Okay. You have state voting laws, which I think is absurd when you're doing a federal election and we're electing a national office, but we all have different rights to vote. In fact, the most empowered voter in America is the overseas voter, who's allowed to vote by email. We can send them a ballot on email. They fill it out and can mail it back to us. And then we transfer it onto a regular ballot. So if you live overseas, you have more voting rights than you do if you live here, and you get an extra time frame to get the vote back to us.
Interesting. I sat down and watched the Netflix special about voting, I think it's called Whose Vote Counts. And it's only 22, 23 minutes long. And it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it, AOC is in it, a few other people are in it. But it was really eye-opening about what you were just talking about. There are some states where you are just automatically enrolled in absentee voting, and you get a ballot in the mail every time, every election. It's just there. There are some Michigan where you have to opt in. There are some Texas where you have to provide a valid excuse as to why you can't go to the poll.
Which Michigan had up until 2 years ago.
Really?
The same thing, but everybody lied. Everybody just lied. So it didn't matter.
It was sick.
We don't research it. Is it really your religion that you can't come to the polls on November 3rd? No, we don't care. It's just, to me, it's a way to alleviate the lines on election day and that stress. So
right. Well, I mean, and I guess that's one of the things you're hearing is that there aren't going to be as many locations open. I mean, I know that's a lot of. I've heard a lot about that with other states, but not Michigan.
Not in Michigan. We are keeping consolidating a poll is a nightmare for a clerk. You talk about getting phone calls from every alphabet soup organization, the NAACP, IC, whatever. Confusing people on where they vote is a huge no-no for a clerk. So the idea of consolidating precincts has never even crossed my mind. I can tell you that this is going to fundamentally change how elections are run, even at the local level in a place like Hamtramck. The reason why, for example, in 2016, I had about 7,500 voters here in the presidential election out of 11,000.
Okay.
I've already got 5,000 absentee ballots out. In 2016, I had 800.
Wow.
Not only that, over 4,000 of these people have signed up to be on the permanent list, which was about 480 before this election cycle. So that's thousands of people. And I had only 2,000 some people vote my last city council election. So the access to the ballot is greatly increased now. And that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
But it changes our clerk infrastructure. And fortunately, Michigan was very lucky to get to be the recipient of several large chunks of money for election grants that we were just fortunate to get because of COVID. Hey, look at that. You got it right there. That's not the one I found on my Dropbox.
Yeah, that's not the one they showed up there. Yeah.
But
I had to clear the air for that one.
That was his second one. That was the second one that he dropped off there. That was
Vote early, vote often, right? Isn't that the truth? Is that what happened? Hey, is that true, by the way? The more absentee ballots you get, the more votes you get?
No. Well, no, you don't get to vote twice. The system locks it out. The system locks it out.
In this day and age, though, of IT, can't you have a national database like sorted by social security number, which allows you to, like, you'd think is there any country that you can like vote via app that is
I believe Estonia does online elections.
I've seen technology where you vote on your phone ahead of time and it gives you a QR code. You just walk it up, put it on the tabulator, it beeps, you walk out. You don't even have to do the paper. You just do it, but you still got to go in person.
QR code. Look at this madness. It's got to point to today's society.
That's not here, but that technology is out there. I mean, that goes back to my argument on why you automatically register to vote the minute you get a social security number.
Or even more, why register to vote at all? Why can't everybody who's here just vote?
Well, there's a problem with citizenship. Citizenship is still a thing.
I mean, if you live here, you should have some say in what's happening here.
I agree, but there's also other states where once you're a felon, you can't vote. Or if you don't have your certain fines paid, you can't vote. They still have like poll taxes in Florida. I mean,
that was part of that special that I watched that was really, really interesting about just that, like who does and does not even have the right to vote. And you mentioned Florida, and Florida just went through a huge battle about restoring the right to vote to felons, and the Republican governor, I guess not to be political, whatever, but the Republican governor that was against it won by a margin smaller than the number of, like much smaller than the number of felons that would have been made eligible to vote had he not vetoed that.
There isn't any social or political scientist that won't tell you if we had 100% voter participation in the United States, the Republican Party would not exist the way it does now. It would be different. The parties would be different. They would have different political leanings if we had 100% voter participation. Okay?
Well, and so I guess, and you would hope
voter suppression is always good for the right leaning.
So I guess what are the statistics, both locally and nationally when it comes to like people actually getting out and voting?
Everyone says that like the first Obama election was the greatest voter turnout nationally we've ever had.
Right.
It's going to.
And wasn't that still like 35%?
No, I mean.
No, I thought it was half. Wasn't it close to half?
Close to half. I thought it was 6. I can't tell you off the head.
55.5%.
Yeah, I would have guessed 60. We're going to have probably close to 75% in this city. It drops off in bigger cities, obviously. That's where it's hard.
Hey, let me ask a question though. Let me ask a question going back, like the whole felon thing. I don't know about this. Like, let's say I'm a felon and I live in Florida, but it's okay in Michigan. If I move my residence to Michigan, then do I get to vote?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's my argument about inconsistent laws in different states, which just confuses people when they see stories on CNN or Fox or anything else.
No, that changes kind of everything, I would think.
You would think.
Just saying, yeah.
You would think. And if you're going to elect the president, I feel like we should all have the same rules. But that's just, I'm a federalist by nature, so that's kind of my, my thought on it.
So I guess like, no, sorry, go ahead, Bob.
No, I didn't have anything. It just, I'm kind of on the fence. If you're like a severe, if there's different classes of felonies, right? Having a gram of cocaine and murdering 15 people is obviously not the same.
And that's why that law is not in Michigan. It's just different states do that.
Right.
Just like the early voting and the absentee voting starts at different points in different states. Right. It's just all about how they're set up. Michigan is one of only, I think it's 9 states where the elections are even locally run. Elections are run by county or by election districts, not by the local clerks. Lucky us.
Now, are they having, go figure. Are they having problems getting poll workers because the Rona?
They were.
This time?
There were. A lot of the problems that were brought about by coronavirus have been, we'll say, paid for. A lot of grant money went out there. Detroit is overpaying people to work. I'm turning poll workers away.
Yeah, I saw it was like $600 a day.
Yeah, they have to, though. They get people to work in those polls. Now, Detroit is an untamable animal. I have 7 precincts. I'll get 1 screw up. We'll fix it by the end of the night. Detroit has 503 precincts. Look at that math. And it's one's out of balance. You just got to figure out why. It's an impossible animal to tame. And they don't need 503 precincts, but if you remember, Garland Gilchrist ran for clerk on the idea that he was going to consolidate the precincts and lost by exactly how many old church ladies were going to lose their jobs when he eliminated 200 precincts times 8 workers,
right?
Like that close of an election.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess like
he didn't lose out. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know he very much moved on up. So like, what are you expecting? What are you are there any problems you're anticipating? Are there just how do you envision, 2 weeks from tomorrow going?
Locally, I'm going to be fine. I took advantage of the grants. We've expanded my absentee counting, which look, we had, 4 women that spent 10 hours in a room with 1 tabulator and some casseroles. Now I have 10 people, 3 tabulators broken into 3 boards in a bigger room. And it's already like right behind me. You can see about 2,300 ballots are back out of the 5,000 I've mailed out. They're slowly coming back in. So what's going to slow us down is people who wait until the last minute to turn in their mail-in ballots. That always slows things down because you have to go back and open the tabulators and run those through. Election day itself, as far as lines are caused by slow voters. This is a big ballot. There's a lot of proposals on there.
Yeah.
If you go in there not knowing what you're doing, that slows the process down. We'll have enough voting booths. We'll have enough workers. We'll have all the PPE in the world. I'm not worried about any of this insurrection stuff or open carry weirdos and all that kind of stuff. I think the news is going to look hard to find some of that and sensationalize it. I'm not worried about that
here.
Because
never.
This is not my first presidential election. I'm used to lines, and people who vote in presidential elections are used to lines. But the fact that I'm going to have almost 2/3 of the votes in the city out of the way already
helps immensely.
We'll see what happens,
So what's the deal? I know they're trying. I don't know if they're trying to push a narrative or if it's a thing where every 3 or 4 days you're like, oh, there's ballots in the trash. What's going on with that? What is that?
I saw one headline in Pennsylvania. I saw one in Kentucky.
But then everybody runs it.
Yeah, 99% of the time, it's not what it looks like from my experiences. But I'm not there. It doesn't make any sense. No one really gains by throwing ballots away. I just don't see it.
Well, they were like one of them. They were addressed. They were addressed military, or they were addressed this party, or you know what I mean. It seems like they're trying to push a narrative with all of it.
There are no markings on any envelope in any state that indicates what party you're in on the outside envelope.
I mean, unless you're slapping a Trump 2020 stamp on it,
which people have done. People have done. We give everybody the "I voted by mail" stickers in with their ballot, and every day we get 1 or 2. They put that sticker on the front of the envelope and they send it back to us. Like, well, you're welcome. Glad I bought 10,000 of those suckers.
Mine is going to be "I pooped today." That's going to be my stamp.
That's your sticker every election, Bob. That's we're aware.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It might as well be this year.
Plus, if your ballot was one of the ones that ended up, lost or whatever, you can just see your status on the Michigan website saying,
you
hey, your
can.
ballot has not been received.
I mean, how many people are savvy enough to take a look and see if their ballot arrived or not? I mean, I do get phone calls usually from older voters. Did you get my ballot? Did you get my ballot? Because they see some things on TV.
I didn't know
the mail.
What is up with that, Randy? Because I didn't know anything about that either. Because
you can track. When you mail yours back in, Bob, you can track the status of it.
Yeah, go to the Michigan Voter Information Center. I'll tweet the link out, and you just put in your name and your birth month and birth year and your zip code, and it'll tell you the status of your ballot.
Oh, okay.
And it's worked.
So,
there's young people call me all the time saying, I thought I did this right. I guess I didn't because I don't see my application on the system. And I'm like, nope, it's not here, but we can fix that because you called and we got time. So
yeah. Now this is what I don't want to play prediction game or anything, but I can just see this is going to turn into the biggest mess in our lifetimes. I
don't know. Let's keep in mind we did all live through the 2000 presidential election.
There are no hanging chads on this year's ballot.
There's no hanging chads in this.
I was gonna say every election there's something, but like 1 million ballots show up the day after the election. What happens? Are they extending this? Is there a hard cut deadline?
The Supreme Court just ruled against the Republican Party where they wanted to. So apparently now Pennsylvania has an extra 3 days to count votes.
It's different state to state.
Yeah.
So it depends on how it's done. So here in Michigan, a judge said, yes, 2 weeks if it's postmarked before the election. Then the other judge said, that's not for judges to decide. That's for the legislature to decide. And the legislature would have to make that law, I guess, that adjustment for this. So every state's
we're gonna have to wait till Christmas to figure out who the damn president is.
No, you're not going to have enough votes that arrive after the ballot date after November 3rd to really swing this. That would have more of an effect in a local race that's on your ballot. If there's some proposals that lost by 20 votes and we suddenly take things that arrive later, that'll change. It's not going to change the presidential at all. I don't think there's so much national word out to vote in October to get it in early. For example, Hamtramck turned down the county's offer of free postage because that would have been thousands of dollars that wasn't going to get spent because everybody walks it in here. I probably, of the 2,500 ballots I got back, 2,000 of them were walked in, Dropboxed. It's a small town, but at the same time, people are dropping off Detroit's ballots here. And as long as they don't, right now it's easy. I can put those in the mail and get them to Detroit. But on election day, if they drop them off here, they ain't going to get where they're going.
Right.
So that goes against my joke because everyone was complaining about the drop boxes being taken away. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's, take away something that I haven't done in 30 years. Because that used to be every neighborhood I remember had one. It was a thing. And then, they've been gone for years.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even tell you where Dropbox is.
We wouldn't put a Dropbox anywhere we didn't have cameras anyway. And that's pretty common around, it's like Detroit's are all in spots where there's some kind of surveillance, libraries, police stations, things like that. In California, it's kind of crazy. They have different rules for collecting ballots, aka vote harvesting. So a person can say, hey, I'll take all your ballots, give them to me. And as long as he signs the bottom of the envelope, he's the one delivering the ballots. The California Republican Party in Orange County put up drop boxes, said, drop your ballots here. We're a person that can take your ballots. And there's a big court battle over whether or not they could do that because it's considered vote harvesting, but there's no person to assign to it. So it's not valid under their law. But we all know California's going blue, but the congressional races don't always.
Shouldn't voting just be easy? I think that's my problem with all of this is shouldn't just voting be a simple friggin' process?
Yes.
You talk about all the proposals and that kind of stuff. I've gotten to the point now where I don't need 3 paragraphs of you trying to BS your way into me voting one way or the other. If you cannot describe a proposal in 2 sentences to tell me exactly what you're asking for, yeah, I'm probably voting no on it.
Well, then be glad you don't live in the Pacific Northwest or California where the legislatures don't do anything and everything is done by proposal. There's actually big money in proposal voter guides on the West Coast. There's dozens of them. Every decision's made by proposal because no one in the legislature wants to make decisions because they all got term limits.
Dave, did you ever read those things? It's this thing won't not know.
It won't not.
Wait, which way is
not never ever possibly could be for the for the city, county, state. It's like someone like Mad Libs. Like you're supposed to circle the one that you want it to be. Like, okay, yeah, I will apply.
Which leaves
it open. I remember
to
talking about that with somebody.
Special interest group and interpretation, and whoever you listen to is telling you a different way that something means. We have that, especially in local proposals. That happens a lot.
No, I remember voting the wrong way on something because there was one of those flipped words. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was voting for that way. They're like, nope, it was.
Do you remember the two different wolf proposals on the ballot in Michigan the same year, back to back?
Yeah,
things. They were just so convoluted.
Wolf Blitzer.
Well, another reason why voting by mail is better because you have time to look at that ballot and figure that stuff out for a couple of days instead of just having to make a decision in the poll booth and likely skipping it.
Yeah, and that was my buddy sent me this thing about like if there's a marking anywhere it I think that's bullshit, but I would set the terms here. What's with like a random marking somewhere on it nullifies the whole ballot? What's up with that?
Okay, that's not true. It is true that if you do not have the chance to what we call second chance voting if you vote by mail. So if it said vote for only one and you voted for two, that ballot still has to count. Just that office won't count. Everything else counts. If there's a stray mark on the ballot, it will spit the ballot out. But then we have a team of a Democrat and a Republican in the AV board that duplicate that ballot exactly on a piece of paper, on a ballot that doesn't have a stray mark on it, and we run it through and count it. In the polling location, if you have a stray mark on it, like you drew a smiley face on your ballot, it'll spit it out and say, it's not going to count. There's stray marks. Do it again.
A Democrat and a Republican, right, Augie?
100%.
Yeah, no, it's Bob. Funny. He's going to draw a dick butt on his ballot. That's what.
Okay, well, that's.
I did not draw dick butts on my ballot.
And we do have both in the because look, this is what you got to do. I've been doing this a long time. I worked in communities where it's hard to get Democrats. I worked in a community where it's hard to get Republicans.
Does it have to be those two parties only?
Yes, actually. It's a good
once question. Again proving that third parties don't matter.
It's a good question. Like I have a couple of my poll workers that are the American Worker Party or something, or Working Class Party that do claim to be members of that party. And I've had libertarians in the past as well, and some Green Party people. I sign them just as everybody else, but when it comes to ballot duplication and bringing the ballots back at night, it has to be Democrat and Republican.
I did see that my idea has been taken already for the Common Sense Party, which I think this country needs desperately. It's already a thing. commonsense.org.
Well, there's a home for you yet then.
There is.
Also, and I know
by the time I'm 90.
Yeah, it'll be there then. No, so I know one of the things that like apparently really matters, and this is like concerning for somebody like me whose like handwriting just gets worse and worse with each passing year. Like your signature has to match the one they have on file for you. So like I just went and got my license renewed. I'm gonna have to look at my license to make sure I write my signature the same way.
That is up to honestly interpretation of the person checking. The point of that is to make sure it's not someone else signing the ballot for them.
Right.
We do catch when a husband signed them both, or if they signed each other's, and we have time now to fix that. We do contact the voter and say, hey, come on in. Most of this is caught in the application process. If your signature doesn't match on the application, we get a hold of you and we have you fix it. Usually there's two ways to check. We have their first signature when they first registered to vote is in those file cabinets back there. And if they change their signature, that's the digital copy that's on the computer.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't match on the computer, we go back and look at the card. And if we think it's that person, boom. We rarely worry about that on the ballots. I've not had that problem on ballots. We do get some back unsigned, and we do everything we can to contact people. That is why we ask for your phone number and your email on your ballot application. In case something like this happens, we can get a hold of you.
So, and I know one of the other things, like, so you mentioned the whole, like, there's no second chance, if you screw up on your mail-in ballot. So let's say you got a mail-in ballot, but you change your mind and decide you want to go vote in person. Can you, and what do you have to do?
It depends on if you turned it in or not. If you
didn't, if you've already mailed it in,
well. There's two processes. If you didn't turn it in, you go to the polls. The poll book will say was given an absentee ballot. They have to call there's a help desk. They call City Hall. We say we did or didn't get it. If we say we didn't get it, we spoil that ballot, and they sign a little affidavit saying I surrender my vote, and they can vote in person.
Can you bring it with you and just say,
no, you don't have to. You don't have to. It'll never count. It'll never check in. But say you did mail it in and you change your mind on something, or somebody dies, and so you want to come pull it back. This happened when Bloomberg backed out of the race after some people had voted for him in August or in March. You can come into City Hall and get your ballot and spoil it and get another one. You can do that up until 10 a.m. on Monday before the election.
Wow.
And people do that.
What's other misconceptions? Because obviously everybody hears a lot of garbage, and with social media spreading weird stuff. What's one of the biggest misconceptions you've heard that we haven't talked about?
Oh, the deadlines are always different. An older gentleman called me today. I know today was my last day to get an online ballot, and how come I can't get an online ballot? I'm like, well, sir, we don't do online ballots. There's requests, and you just check it down for them.
Yeah, you can fill out the request online, but
people re-register to vote all the time. They come in with their voter registration. Oftentimes they think that's an absentee ballot application, but it's not. So we always ask them, so you registered twice, did you want an application? I have a mail vat. I got stacked probably 1.5 feet high of doubles, of duplicate mail-in applications, because all these outside groups have been bombarding mailboxes with registrations and applications, and these guilting you into voting things. It looks like a resident at 22101 Hopgood hasn't voted in 4 years. Is that you? You should do this. And these outside groups just pull these lists and they scare people. And then they think that their vote didn't count last time, and they start calling me.
So that's exactly the question I was going to ask, is because I know there was a big kerfluffle in the news. I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Can you describe the kerfuffle?
You can describe the ruckus, because Whitmer vetoed something that would have increased the penalties on things like registering twice or requesting 2 ballots. And reading through it, it made perfect sense as to why she vetoed it, because it was basically trying to make it a felony if you even so much as requested a ballot a second time. Where when you've got so much stuff like that going on, or dude, you forget shit.
And the tracking system is brand new. You had no way of looking before, 3 months ago.
Yeah,
I understand, especially when there's deadlines. Like there's a printing deadline. People would send me 3 requests before we even had the ballots here, so they might have been worried we didn't get one, so they send it again. Right. And I get it. And when they get it in the mail, they just assume that it's from the city.
Right.
So
they don't read the return address or any of the markings. Yeah.
They think something's wrong. And honestly, one of the problems with these new ballots for years and years, your ballot came in a manila envelope, right? It came in a manila covered envelope that everyone knew was a ballot. These are new to people. They look like credit card applications to some folks.
Yeah.
They're not used to color in their official voting stuff. Detroit still has a big manila envelope, but they all
came from the Philippines.
What, Bob?
They came from the Philippines. Randy got it. Come on.
Yes, but
Manila.
Sorry, I called them vanilla when I was a kid, but vanilla, whatever works.
Okay. With you.
Other than that, so. The polling places, they're going to do the 6 feet distancing, wear a mask, pull your mask down when you show your ID, or what's?
No, to be honest with you. But we also don't have the right to enforce mask wearing at the polls. And that was made very clear by the governor, that we're not mask wearing enforcement, which is why we provide all the PPE, all the masks and gloves and sanitizer for our staff, and encourage them to do whatever they feel comfortable and safe with, because we can't guarantee the dirty public.
Because, I guess technically you'd get into arguments about voting suppression at that point.
Right.
Well, what about for religious reasons? That's something I have no idea about, for religious reasons.
The women in this town are used to that. And we do have space set aside if there's a doubt, where people can identify themselves. We've done it at City Hall too, with the second room and having a female check. It has not been a problem here. I know people want it to be in some communities, and it's certain websites will talk about it, but it has not been a problem here at all. Or in Dearborn, it really hasn't. They're used to it. It's part of the process.
That's fair. Like I said, I never dealt with it. So
that's a fair question.
I know in Hampton, that makes a good thing. Yeah. You got 73 IDs from your dead relatives, and you can just keep walking in the door.
No, that's only done with bridge cards, Bob, not with voting.
Well, I know that's true, but I mean, I can't even laugh at that.
I know, right?
All right. I mean, I guess anything else we haven't talked about that we should, or anything else you want to get out there to folks?
Vote early, not often. The earlier you get your ballots in, the better it's going to be for getting the results in sooner on election night. If you don't trust the mail, drop it off. That simple.
Well, and I think that's the one thing that has people really, really nervous right now is, I mean, just all the horror stories you hear about, the Postal Service and everything else. And, is it okay to mail it? But yeah, I mean,
we've had no real problems here. We check the postmarks on stuff. We look at,
yeah.
I mail my own ballot to myself here in town just so I can get a feel for the delivery time. And, sure, I'd say that 80% of the people that tell me they never got their ballot, it's because they didn't know what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And it's no big deal. I don't care how they lost it or how they didn't get it. We'll replace it. That's fine. And they have a chance to vote on election day still. So there you go.
I mean, the envelope says important on it. So, I mean, they should know.
Which is why I say it looks like a credit card.
Yeah, because, those all say important. Yeah.
Because they all say important open now.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, I guess if that's it, we can cut you loose and let you get back to work, and we'll carry on with our merry shenanigans.
Yes, I'm gonna leave this office now. Gentlemen, again, thank you for having me on. It's always good to be here, and I look forward to the next time I'm coming on for more fun reasons, like a fundraiser or an event somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when those can happen again, for sure.
Thanks. All right, now can I talk about the worst burger I've ever had in my entire life?
Yes, now you can talk about the worst burger you've ever had in your entire life. Yes.
So this weekend, my daughter turned 14, right? And she wanted to go,
which is still crazy to me, but we'll ignore that for now.
And my middle one, I know, she wants to go for milkshakes at like a 50s diner. So I'm like, all right, perfect. There's one right by the house, like literally that we've never been to. And it says cheeseburger, $8, right? And you think about, and like the milkshake is $5. So I'm like, there's no bourbon in that. And I'm doing all the, that better be a goddamn good milkshake.
Better be a hell. Well, yeah. Well, no, I mean, for like a good hand done milkshake, I'm okay with that. $8, that better be a hell of a cheeseburger.
And it's a la carte, no fries with that. Fries are extra. This thing, honest to God, I've had friends that cook beef jerky on grills. I've made frozen GFS patties at family parties, and I've never had a worse cheeseburger in my entire life. Hands down, this couldn't have been any more awful. And I don't understand how you make it like that, because literally I've had blind people cook for me that are like tasted better than this. And this is like, there's only like 4 things on their menu, like for food.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a huge menu. Like it's not like they do a lot of stuff.
No, and it's like Tellway, where it's like the burger. It's not Tellway, by the way. Those are my favorite. But it's like that kind of a menu board. And I'm like, to this day, I will never, like, the first thing I was like thinking about, do I write a Yelp review? And I go, I think I'm going to write the owner a letter going, can I just work with you and your chef, your cook,
to make this
for like
suck
15
less
minutes? Yeah, I gotta go, because like, I can make an amazing burger in my kitchen. Like, how do you not? Like, when that's what you do for a living.
Yeah, exactly. You have one job.
Right. Like, so anyway, I had to rant about it because an article came out this week ranking the top 22 fast food burgers.
Yeah, the chain. Yeah, that's where I was just going with that. And at the bottom of the list, you have Sonic,
which I kind of agree with.
Yeah, they're not my favorite.
When you get a burger from there, it's downright. You go there for the cherry limeade, and that's it.
Yeah, their slushies are amazing. Like that's why you pull into Sonic.
Last time I went to Sonic 2, it was ungodly expensive. For like 2 people, it was like almost $30.
Really?
Yeah.
Which you should.
The one I don't agree with, and I'm going to argue to my death, is 21 Fuddruckers. I think it's garbage because I think they make a freaking great burger to this day. If you go to the one on 18 in Van Dyke, like that is a tasty burger. Like they're, again, it's not hard to mess up a burger, but I think
okay, but yeah, I mean, did you read why they said this in this article though? I mean, they said basically
they're gone.
Well, no, I mean, they said, hey, you have great memories of Fuddruckers, but those days, those times are gone.
Fuddruckers, when's the last time you were at a Fuddruckers?
Isn't what you remember.
Couple months ago.
Oh, says the fantastic, juicy, made-to-order burgers of yesteryear have been replaced by sad, overpriced burgers that do not do your memories justice.
See, here's the thing. I went to the one that was in a chain plaza on like Evergreen and Southfield. That was shit. I went to the one 18 in Van Dyke is the one that's legit. It's like the 50s. They got the Elvis booth and all that stuff. That one's been there since I've been born. That one's could not be more legit. And it's freaking outstanding. So wasn't there one they franchised too quick and they got bad? I don't know.
Wasn't there one in like Bloomfield Hills for a while too, on like Telegraph or something?
Yep, that was one of the chain plaza ones that were awful.
It's the only one I've ever been to.
Yeah. See, and then like Dairy, dude, I've never gotten a burger at Dairy Queen. Like who's like
I've never eaten one either.
You go there, and then you've got, of course, White Castle, A&W, decent. McDonald's, their whole thing is it's the the tried and true stability of a McDonald's burger, no matter where they are.
Yeah, but to rank them 17. I don't like that. To me, that's super low. I don't know, just in the grand scheme. I mean, again, it's tried and true. It's not good. But
but especially like, so I've been saying this like ever since they changed whatever they were doing. Like they went to like fresh beef for the quarter pounder and like double quarter pounder with cheese. Those are delicious. Amazing. Those are outstanding now.
But then to do give them rallies at 16 rallies is a horrible burger.
Yeah,
not you go there for fries. And that's it. Johnny Rockets, I don't even know why that's on the list.
And honestly, like Red Robin, I've never been overly.
When's the last time you've been to one?
Pre-COVID, maybe like January, February.
Oh, dude, it's been years, and there's one by the house, like years.
Oh yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's one. There's one not 4 miles from me.
Yeah, there's one on our 14 Mile. That's fine.
Burger King is 11. How is Burger King not dead last?
It's like I will fight somebody about that. Like, how do you put Burger King above McDonald's?
Yeah, that flame broiled taste is just too bizarre for me.
Bad. Everything there's
charcoal.
Bad.
It's Now
the Coke is bad. The fries are bad.
Now 10. I was stunned when Fat Burger over by my old place when I was working for Chrysler Financial. There was one at like Telegraph and I don't know the 696 interchange and all that stuff.
Yeah,
dude, Fat Burger was amazing.
Never heard of it.
Those were good,
dude. Those and like
they were like
you could get a burger with a fried egg on top of it, and I'm like, how and they were good burgers.
Yeah, then because I've never been to then Steak and Shake and then BurgerFi. I've never been to BurgerFi.
I've never even heard of BurgerFi.
I've heard of it, but I've never been.
There's a Burger Rim that just opened on like Telegraph in like 14.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, Smash Burger.
Smash Burger. I'm not a fan. See, there's a Smash Burger by us. A couple of them.
I am perfectly comfortable with Wendy's being at number 6. Like they deserve to be above. Like when I always have that conversation when it comes to like it's like okay, you got like Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's. Like their burgers, their chicken sandwiches, their everything are just I'll go for that all day every day.
If only their fries were not hot garbage. Half the time they're not even hot. Like they're limp, soggy, never crispy.
The one by my house, I never have that issue.
I've never gotten a crispy fries at Wendy's.
Where you're getting it from. I just got the Wendy's for the other day from 9 Mile. That one, and they were garbage fries. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, Shake Shack, decent.
Yes, I think they're outstanding. Like that's, but I don't consider that a fast food burger because you got to wait 20 minutes for it. It's like a, it's a different beast. I don't know.
Well, so that's the thing. It's not fast food. It's chain. Like Red Robin isn't fast food.
Right.
Yeah. Whataburger. I've had them once. Liked it.
Never been.
Five Guys needs to stop giving you an entire potato when it comes to like
they
a side
don't.
fries.
The last 2 times I got a small fry, it was the cup and that was it. And there was like 8 fries in there.
That's
and I was
surprising.
Pissed. So like, I know, because usually it's like, all right, grab a monster handful of fries and then go upstairs. And now it's like, wait, there's no fries in the bag?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and oh, by the way, now I have to wipe grease off my hands for the next 10 minutes.
I don't know if it's just a DoorDash thing because of the greasy bag and then it's hard to deliver it and it gets all nasty. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, even there. And then In-N-Out, I mean, everybody always raves about In-N-Out and the off menu and all that stuff. So that's good. But then you and I think this is probably one of the best stops we ever made during one of the something we were speaking at. We stopped at Culver's. I tell everybody about those burgers. Like, I don't care what Mormon cult is behind them and runs them. Like, they make a hell of a burger.
Yeah, Butterburgers are pretty good.
They're ran by Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah,
it's bizarre.
Oh yeah, no. You walk in and it looks like the children. No matter which one you walk into, it is always the Children of the Corn behind the counter.
Right. But that is when I talk about like getting making a tasty like there's nothing better than just a double with nothing on it. Like it's just it's
and they are a fast food burger. Like that's not a like the drive-throughs and the whole 9 yards. Like it's not something you got to sit there and wait 20 minutes for.
You always have to wait, but it's fine. I don't mind. Like I said, if you're gonna make it, fresh to order or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad to see my actually a friend of mine bought 5 of them. He opened his first one up on 16 and Vanek in the Meyer parking lot.
Oh, nice.
So I was happy. Yeah, I was happy for him. But he bought 5 of them. So like he was all bragging about this. That's where I got the article from.
Oh yeah, actually, I remember you. I remember you having the. I remember when he was having those conversations about trying to get that off the ground, and it was basically, oh, you want to open a Culver's? Here's all the financing you need. Go. Here's all the money.
Yeah, I think Oxford Bank gave him 100% loan.
Yeah,
like they're like, yeah, these things rake money, and he was telling me what he makes from each one. I was like, take me with you, please, sir.
I want to play.
What's this IT business? I want to make burgers for a living.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least own something where people make burgers. That's totally fine as well. So we've joked about this, and I love that apparently it finally happened. The New Yorker suspended one of their reporters because of a Zoom incident.
Now, was it butt or wiener? That's what I want to find out.
It said they didn't. Apparently, they would not answer requests for follow-up information. But it did specifically say in the article that he exposed himself on the Zoom. So one assumes.
Well, I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing I was off camera. Mr. Tubin said. I apologize to my wife, family, friends. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. Right there, stupid. I thought I had muted
the Zoom
video.
Because you got to turn the sound off, fine, but you got to turn it, and it is. I mean, it's real. So, but here's the thing that I've noticed because I did this once. There is an option in Zoom where you can just say hide self view, and all that does is if I do that, that removes me from the picture, but you can still see me, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you might think that removes.
Was he being funny? Was he being funny and walked away and showed his butt, or did he just put his
I think he was
on the
going to town on himself and didn't realize the camera was on.
Or was having a risky business Friday and only had a dress shirt on and no pants whatsoever, and then stood up. I mean, like I said, they didn't respond to requests for further information, so who knows?
Did I ever tell you I did that once? By the way, and luckily I had pants on. So my laptop was in front of me, and then my DX80 was behind me, behind the monitor was, and I was working. It was a touch screen, so I was and I take my laptop and I pull it down, All of a sudden I hear my phone go bring, 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 bring. They go, Bob, your camera is right on your crotch right now. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, thank God I got pants on this time.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and so I know you were a huge fan of Fury Road, the Mad Max movie that came out.
Yes.
And apparently they have cast the prequel. Like, I didn't know. So, like, we've all talked about, okay, we all want it to be the Boomerang kid that is, that's in Fury Road. But this is apparently going to be a prequel, so it'll be somewhere between Thunderdome and Fury Road.
That's one of my favorite stories of all time. It was after Motor City Comic Con. It's on Sunday, and I go to the theater by myself to go watch Fury Road.
I remember that.
I had to see it that opening weekend. And then I buy a single ticket, and I go into the theater, and the only person sitting in the entire theater, my ticket is directly adjacent to that human being. So I had to move 8 times so I didn't have to sit right next to him. And then I was like, oh, fine, I can sit next to you. But yeah, because how did are they gonna make it that he's Toe Cutter, or is that just happenstance of casting?
I guess we'll have to see.
Are they going what are they going to? Yeah, because how did we get here?
Well, that's the thing. They didn't even specifically address the timeline that it's going, or where in the timeline it's going to exist. Just that it's a prequel. So I mean, that's like I said, logically, so it has to be somewhere between Thunderdome and Fury Road, and I guess we'll find out where as more details come out.
Well, they did cast younger Furiosa, so
right. Yeah. So
20 years before Fury Road ish, maybe, based on actor ages.
Yeah, could be.
Speaking of,
is Master gonna be in it because Blaster died,
right?
So maybe Master's in it. And he's
Speaking of having a theater to yourself, you can rent an AMC theater for $99.
They've already pissed me off. They're dead to me.
Uh-oh, what happened?
So Empire Strikes Back is no longer on the list of movies. Kiss my ass. That's the only.
Wait, you were able to pick which movie?
Yeah,
they had a list of movies you could pick from.
And Empire was, and I wonder if it's if they just got flooded with requests from nerds to sit there and have the entire theaters to themselves watching Empire Strikes Back.
But
which movie do you want to watch? So it's Tenet. Is it Tenet?
Tenet.
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Shrek. The War with Grandpa, Nightmare Before Christmas, Two Hearts, The Conjuring 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic Park, Jumanji, Monsters Inc., Sonic the Hedgehog, The New Mutants. Hot trash, all of it. Every movie on there's hot trash.
But Empire Strikes Back was on that list for the first 2 days, and then it disappeared.
I would seriously consider doing it with a group of friends for Hocus Pocus. It's a fun Halloween movie.
Yeah. I mean, and still, for $99, I mean, if there's one of those movies that you want to see, or you want to see with a couple people, why not? I mean, it's because the movie theater by my house does it, and I was thinking, because my kid's birthday's in a couple weeks, hey, do you want to? And that was honestly my thought was I was going to do Empire Strikes Back, and then that option disappeared, and so screw you guys.
Well, that was it's for take my 2 kids and me. It's a $70 bill.
Exactly. That's the same logic I was going through with it.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about that for Annie's birthday in November. What are we supposed to do?
But yeah. So Star Wars, dude. Someone created a lightsaber, for real. Yeah.
So apparently this thing cuts steel.
Yeah, guy's name is James Hobson. And I mean it's not technically a lightsaber because it's not standalone. It does require a backpack to be an energy source. But it projects a blade that's lightsaber length. And yeah, cuts through steel. That's a real thing.
Now how is it, because that scene always pissed me off in episode 1 where they cut the circle,
the melt,
the double steel, right? And how did it not burn the hair off of his fingers? His hand is fine, but it's gonna cut through steel. What's the temperature of molten metal, right? And he doesn't go ow.
Oh well, because that's the thing, because he's got it pushed all the way into the door, so his hand is right by the melting steel. Yeah,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is it because he's got the force and that's
Yeah, that's the biggest plot hole we have to worry about in episode 1. That's
That's what I worry about.
Yeah, but no, I thought it was cool. And apparently like he makes them. It's $4,000. If you want one, it's $4,000 and you get the backpack and you know, what can possibly go wrong carrying around a lightsaber?
I'm sure Neil already has one on order.
How does it stop at the top? Why isn't it like a flashlight? It just keeps going forever.
So the article had all that information in it. It's basically electromagnets.
I read it.
Yeah, no, it's basically. I mean, there's math involved. I mean, that's how that works.
That's why I didn't. I only do math when it suits an argument, not when I want to figure something out.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me, I know. So I'm curious about this one. Like, so apparently Chromecast is getting relabeled as Google TV. Now, I went through and I played with, you know, I've got Fire Sticks, I've got a Chromecast, I've got, you know, a couple other things. And Chromecast was the one that always that was the bottom of the list. Like, as far as all the ones I experimented with, that was always the bottom of the list. So now apparently it's running Android TV as an OS, and they're renaming it Google TV, and it's supposed to have a lot more options and that kind of stuff to it. So I'm curious, and I guess it's what, $59 if I recall correctly.
I bought one because Maggie had her party downstairs, and the downstairs didn't have smart TV or whatever. So we because it's my old TV from up here, so I bought one for and it has everything I need and then some. So it's basically all the features of my brand new Samsung Smart TV. And yeah, it's phenomenal.
So how does it compare to say either like just a Roku TV or like buying a Fire Stick and plugging that in?
I think it's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the apps. Yeah, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, YouTube TV.
So
HBO Max, Spotify.
Yeah, now it's a Fire Stick competitor. Before, Chromecast was kind of weird because you had to always start things from your phone and then cast it, and then the stick took over. Like you could.
Yeah, and that's like I said, so that's why it was always the bottom of the barrel for me. I was like, yeah.
So this is just a new smart TV interface.
It's another thing with Google though. It's like, why was it Chromecast? Why wasn't it always Google TV? Like, it's kind of like their branding team, for as great as they are, they kind of suck. It's like, it seems like they go through this crap constantly with rebranding and doing stuff.
But if you think about it from a functionality perspective, it was, and like I said, this is why it just didn't work for me. It was designed to be something that would pick up a cast from your laptop or from your, from say Google Chrome. And so,
but I can still do that. I can still do that with my phone. Like I cast to the TV all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just, yeah. I mean, we look at, we were looking at we're looking at vacation spots for my wife's 50th, and I just I cast it to the TV. So I mean, that's still it's still a thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's the matter.
Oh, but I mean, and again, every device does that. The Fire Sticks do it. The Rokus do. I mean, it's all
Apple
there.
TV does it. Yeah. Speaking of Google confusing branding and things, it looks like they're finally maybe going to pull the plug on Hangouts.
They're not, though. Did they double down on Meet?
Well,
that's MEET, by the way, not MEAT.
Right. That's part of the problem too, is they use the name Hangouts for both personal and enterprise stuff. And so Google Meet is now the enterprise, and Google Chat will be the one for personal use.
No, I think Meet you can use for anything, and it's going to be a Microsoft Teams combatant, because they're figuring chat is like the Teams component, right? That's what I got from this. And they're saying that the 100 million people use Google Meet every day, and they're adding 3 million users a day. Like,
I'm guessing
who are these people?
80% of those are accidental users because they've slipped a link into a calendar invite.
And they're saying they're pulling Zoom out of the calendar invites.
So I mean, that's the thing. Like, so like even right now, like the Zoom integration is through a browser add-on from Zoom itself. Like, so that's not something that, like, I don't think that's something, unless they specifically try to block that plugin, which I think would be a horrible idea on their part. Because I mean, then you're right back to the Microsoft antitrust litigation of the browser war days.
See, here's the thing: like, if Google had a mail app that rivaled Outlook, is too good of an email app, they'd compete. Because right now, because you still have some companies using G Suite.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like I said, Outlook is way too good of an email client. It's I don't want to say it's perfect, maybe because I've been using it my entire life, but
it's good. But
it's
yeah,
as
it's
close
got
as we've
some
got.
Dealing with PST files and stuff is still a nightmare, but generally you don't have to touch those much anymore.
Automate scripts, Randy. Clean, yeah. That's like, I think that's like 80% of our tickets is like Outlook is slow. Why is your Outlook slow? Because your deleted folder has 13,000 emails in
It's
it.
8 gigs, yeah.
And your PSD file is 99%, and we dump your deleted folder, and it's fast again.
And you're good. So I'm curious, like, if this is just staying on the Google topic. Apparently, Google search is now going to let you hum a song to it, and it'll search for you. So I'm curious if they're going to like bounce up against whatever trademarks and that kind of stuff, like Shazam and that kind of stuff have.
I was gonna say, didn't Shazam and SoundHound add this years ago?
No, I don't remember anyone doing this. When I saw this, I was like, "That sounds ridiculous." Well, you know what it reminded me of? All the girls at the bar when I DJ'd that wouldn't know the name of the song and they wouldn't know the words to it either. They would just go, "Can I hum it to you?"
But it goes like
no. It goes like that. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, SoundHound has had this for years, so this is just a catch-up feature and not something groundbreaking.
Fancy catch-up?
Yeah.
It's a real catch-up.
Does it work though? I was trying to mess around with it before the show just to see if it what would you hum? Like, I'm just trying to think of what song. Like, it makes no sense to me how they would pick up what you're humming.
It probably bases out in like pitch and rhythm and compares waveforms or something like that.
But like, does it like because like you can be humming the words, you could be humming the guitar, like, I don't know. You're not going to catch me dead doing it anyway when I have Shazam. Why do that? This seems
well, if
like
you know the lyrics, you can search by the lyrics. I think it's more the melody or the musical aspect and not the lyrics.
Right, but if you have Shazam, oh, by the way, I'm ranting so hard right now. So High Fidelity is one of my favorite movies of all time. John
Top
Cusack.
5, yeah.
It was during a period of my life where that's all we did was argue about things, and it was pre-internet, so you couldn't just pull out your phone, and it was top 5, and we'd argue this and that. That's all we would do when we would go have a drink is, argue about things, whatever. There's a series now on Hulu called High Fidelity with Zoe Kravitz, and it's word for word the same as the movie, except they added some modern features. Like, a guy walks into the record store and holds Shazam up, and there's like a Jack Black character, but now it's a black woman, but she's like, and then she yells at him about using Shazam and not asking her, and like, but it's like word for word. She's like going through, and she's a number 1 with a bullet. Like, it's almost the same words as High Fidelity, but they've made it into a series, which is a huge pile of hot garbage.
Yeah.
But they tried to make it modern, but they reused dialogue. That's what I don't know. Like, to me, that's just so stinking lazy. Like, why couldn't you just rewrite the dialogue? Like, you tried to make it like,
that requires original thought. And I believe that is something we've established that Hollywood is not good at.
But they did, like, they would make certain scenes like modernized, but then they would like do verbatim the same dialogue. Like, it makes no sense to me. Ruin a perfectly good
why not
favorite
just
movie.
Watch the original movie? Yeah. Why? Yeah. So, we're always talking about like censorship and getting things pulled, and are people getting too touchy about stuff and that kind of thing. That story about the German online laws that are attempting to get rolled out into France that they're shooting down, and the one called Earn It here in the U.S. Little concerning, because we're getting into that area where the service providers have always had that gray area of, hey, we're not responsible for the content that our users post, that kind of thing. This strips that away. And so the rule in Germany is like, basically if a provide, like the Facebooks of the world, get notified of something containing hate speech, that sort of thing, they have to have it down within 24 hours. Period. End of story. Germany is trying to make that tighter, where it has to be down within 1 hour. And so it's a little chilling. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's some, not all free speech is good speech. So there are some applications that I could see for it, but I mean, by and large, it's a little creepy seeing some of the stuff work through our own system and what it might mean.
Who defines hate speech?
And that's the issue.
Because like, if you want to do like a what's a grouchy German, a sauerkraut, right? Is that offensive? Is that hate speech? Is that I'm only doing that because I'm German? Like,
no, it's okay. My best friend's German. It's fine.
Someone could say that's hate speech, and I think it's just a stupid joke.
Well, and that gets
that line.
I was going to say, I mean, like that gets into the whole conversation of like it's okay if you're offended by something, you're allowed to have your own personal sensibilities and that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean that it is capital O offensive. It doesn't.
Right. Well, that was no, right, but who, like Booger said in Revenge of the Nerds 2, and who sets the standards? That's always, is it some team of 20 people? Is it some person with too much?
Well, Bob, you have to have a Democrat
like,
and a Republican sitting in a place in Hamtramck, and that's.
No, but like, yeah, is it one person who's going, yep, you know what I mean? Is it like you can't? I don't know. This crap's all ugly.
It's yeah.
Why can't you just let people sort each other out? Like if somebody wants to put hate speech out, then they get outed as an asshole.
Yeah,
and then
but Bob, then you have things like people fomenting plots to kidnap governors and shit, and that's.
We all said that was the joke of the internet anyway, right? First there was those people used to mutter in their basement. Now they found others.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the old Richard right? Jenny shtick. Yeah. Every town has that guy. Right. That you just know is that guy, yeah. And the problem is that now that all those that guys can find each other.
Right. Now, well, where do they go now? Like message forums are gone. Isn't that where they used to find each other?
I don't know. Private encrypted chats at this point. Who the hell knows?
I'm going to throw it out there. I think social media should go away. I think Twitter and Facebook should be gone. And we should go back to message forums. It was so much more fun.
It was
when it was just message forums, and you could actually make fun of people without having your real name attached to it.
It's usually like the anonymity. That's all it was.
No, I can get that with Reddit, but Reddit threads don't. I hate the way they track. It takes you like a half an hour to see a reply to an original post.
Right, because you got to keep.
Yeah. They don't line up right.
Well, and plus, we all know your username now, so we know it's you.
True.
No, Randy. If it wasn't for Randy, no one would have known.
Those Mexican kids. So are you rushing out to buy either the Ritz taco crackers or the Booze hot dogs? Like what?
Hold on. Stop at the Ritz crackers. Dude, Ritz crackers, that shit's a game changer with taco shaped Ritz crackers.
Like, how is that different than like the Tostito scoops other than the Ritz crackers?
Still the butter cracker.
Because it's Ritz crackers, spinach dip like a mofo. Like this changes the game.
I can see that. Okay.
These things, and you put them, you can do crab dip. Like imagine the possibilities with these taco crackers. Like what you could put in them. Like all the dips, the Mexican dips, like Mexican dip you use for the Tostito bowls, and that's about it. Everything else though, buffalo chicken dip, dude, it's gonna be so much better and like this,
Yeah.
It keeps it all neat and tidy. But
you know me, I'll give it a shot and I'll break stuff. We'll see what happens.
But the booze hot dog is a bag of toilet. As far as I'm concerned.
Like who asked for bourbon, gin, and rum infused hot dogs? Like, how is that even a thing?
I would try one if somebody served it to me, but I would not go buy a package of them.
It's not something that I will seek out ever.
No.
Like yeah, if I'm somewhere that happens to have...
Who ate a hot dog and someone goes, Bob, want a shot of bourbon? No, I'd rather just have it infused in this.
Right.
Like, those aren't things that need to go together. Like booze ice cream never needed to go together. Like, everyone always texts me like Jägermeister popsicles. And I'm like, how about just drink Jägermeister and have a popsicle?
Yeah, why would you do
I don't need them together.
Booze dogs are
like, their
tagline is man's best meat.
It doesn't.
I disagree.
What's the booze content in them?
I mean, it can't be. I mean, it's like, dude, like I make blueberry pancakes with blueberry schnapps. The alcohol cooks off. So I mean, it can't be like I don't see them as being truly alcoholic. I think it's just the flavor that stays.
I mean, not all of the alcohol will cook off. So, but still, these aren't flavors I would ever like. Yeah, like you said, eating a hot dog and want a shot to chase it down. That sounds worse.
Yeah.
So like I would want them mixed together.
Take a sip of bourbon. Take a bite of hot dog. Take a sip. No, that's nothing that has ever seemed like a good idea to me in my life.
Oh, but then it says it's marinated in real bourbon, gin, and rum, no synthetic flavoring. How many times does that bourbon get reused? Can
you imagine like bourbon hot dog water? No.
Oh.
So I don't want it.
Maybe you could use the leftover vodka water in a Bloody Mary to make your Bloody Mary a little meatier, but
terrible. So one of the cons we've been keeping an eye on pretty well. Actually, the last two big cons that were scheduled for this year here in Michigan have now canceled. Grand Rapids canceled last week, and then Youmacon just announced that they were postponing as well. So yeah,
Youmacon waited till the last minute.
See, dude, I don't think based on everything we saw with Penguicon and all the other cons, I don't think this had anything to do with Youmacon not wanting to cancel. I think this had a lot to do with the city and the hotels and all those folks being the ones holding the strings on that force majeure clause and forcing them to wait.
Yeah, because I think Youmacon really wanted to do it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I'm sure to some degree they held out probably longer than we would have thought reasonable. I mean, that's a 60,000 person event that happens downtown, and I mean, it would have been great if it could happen, but like, dude, if the auto show ain't happening, and that, you ain't no.
Yeah, because this is what the first weekend in November.
Yeah, it's always like Halloween weekendish. Yeah.
Did you see the contraptions, by the way, for Halloween? To give candy out,
like the candy shoot Spencer made.
Yeah, it's like shaped like an eye, so it's like so you like the T part goes on top with like a little feed thing, and then you drop the candy, and then it slides down the stoop, and then the kid can grab it at the bottom, and then there's some PVC T bar at the bottom.
Well, yeah, the problem that I've seen with all of them though is that they all have that sharp corner at the bottom of the PVC. So like if you're handing out full size candy bars, you can't use that. You can only hand out the little crappy candy.
Why don't you just throw it at them?
Now, see, that's more reasonable to me.
I'm just going to set out a table and candy bars at each end, and as they empty, refill them.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not expecting a huge kid turnout this year. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm buying 20 movie size candy boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming with everything going on, you've got which brings me to my own little rant. You've got schools getting ready to reopen, and that kind of crap. As you got to love the logic. So March, oh my God, we have 3,000 cases just protect the kids, lock everything down. Now we have 200,000 plus dead, millions of cases. But hey, let's go ahead and reopen the schools and get the kids crammed back in there. That's a great idea. So but the one piece of credit I will give them, and it was probably accidental that they did this, is that the school district that I'm in is not opening November 9th like a lot of other places are. They pushed it back to the 30th. And so I'm kind of half wondering if that's not a CYA move because the school board meetings were just I don't know if you've hopped in any of the virtual school board meetings or that kind of crap by you. I mean, it's like people were literally crying that they couldn't handle their kids, that they couldn't handle trying to teach their kids and that kind of stuff. And it was an absolute shit show. And don't get me wrong, I understand, but that's not the school's problem. That's whatever, it is what it is. So I'm wondering if, so they could tell those people, hey, we're giving you what you want by setting an opening date, knowing full damn well and good that by November 30th, Michigan is going to be the exact same shit show that Wisconsin is right now, and is only getting worse. And so everything's going to be locked back down by the 30th. So it's not really they're not really going to go back to school.
Didn't they already start some districts going to school? And I think they're going Monday, Tuesday, home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're going back in. I think that's what our districts.
Some are. Some local schools.
I know my little one's going in first. I think the older ones the high school's going in January.
Yeah, no. So this was here with this district. This is basically the elimination of the hybrid model. So you have to choose by October 30th. You are either sending your kid all the way back in 5 days a week for full days, or they are going fully virtual. No in between. No 1 or 2 days a week. No.
I know I got to fill out a questionnaire once a week. Is your kid going to come to school? Yes or no? Or come to, in person? Are they going to wear a mask? Yes or no? If not, why not? Are they going to eat breakfast? Are they going to eat lunch at school? You know what I mean? So and I got to answer 3 of those basically every week while they figure this crap out. So,
well, and the sad reality is those answers are conditional. If the numbers weren't climbing and we weren't getting closer to a shit show, yeah, I'd be more comfortable with them going back in and that kind of stuff. Or, hey, let's talk about, instead of just saying November 30th, we're going to rip off a Band-Aid. Okay, so maybe instead of, 10 kids in a pod, let's maybe jack that up to 12 or 14 and see how that goes for a couple weeks. And if things are still good, okay, bring it up to 16 or 18 and see how that goes for a couple weeks. This whole and that's the thing, you reading through the plan, they have no plans, but reading through what's being put out, nobody has thought this shit through at all. Anybody with any kind of risk mitigation background, I just want to go and meet them in person just so I can slap them upside the back of the head.
I think the worst job right now, other than being a mop boy at a peep show, would be a school superintendent. I think that's pretty much the next rung up on the
yeah, exactly. You've got Lions quarterback, Red Wings goalie, school superintendent.
Right, it's just the hell and the shit that they have to probably endure on a daily basis of emails and phone calls. Again, I'm not worried about my kids. I'm not worried about your kids, but I'm worried about some people's kids.
Uh-huh.
We got to do something. I'm just saying.
Well, and I do I understand the practical realities of it. I understand that there are, you've got single parents, you've got, people that, aren't in the position where they can, they could have their kids home very easily and that kind of stuff. And I get that, but I always fall back on none of this took us by surprise. When they closed the schools in March, you had to deal with it then. All summer long, they were saying, hey, this is probably how this is going to play out. So you knew what was coming, and you still didn't try to figure out a plan of, you still didn't try to figure out a way to make this work for yourself. And but then again, who knew? Personal accountability. Who knew? Who would have thought that? Yeah.
It's kooky. So who wins in a fight between the See, now this one surprised me. 1,000 T-Rexes are 80,000 chickens.
I'd say the chickens win.
See, my problem with this is, okay, so now you're assuming that they're attack chickens. Because like if you put 80,000 chickens and you put 1,000 T-Rexes, wouldn't like normal chickens just run the hell away from the T-Rexes? Wouldn't they just sense stranger danger and go?
I don't know what because like if you watch the beginning of it, the chickens are kind of just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, what the hell's going on? Yeah.
And then a couple T-Rexes start eating them, and then they go to town. And like they ended up like blowing out the T-Rexes, and I don't get it either. Like it makes no sense to me. Whoever wrote this sim program, I don't think, because T-Rexes eat meat. Chickens, what are they gonna peck their toes? So I'm like, literally, the chickens won by a landslide. Like I don't.
It's like the whole like army ants taking out like an alligator. Like you see those videos in nature every now and then where like it's just a sheer swarming thing. And like some of them were going for the feet and making the T-Rexes fall over. So it's kind of like the whole AT-AT and getting the tow cable wrapped around and having a fight, and then you could take them out that way. I'm like I said, I'm. It's just the assumption that you have bred attack chickens that bothered me with that.
See, that's me playing. That's totally me right now playing Age of Empires 2. I have it on infinite everything, unlimited all the things, and I just make this massive army, and then I just kind of unleash. Like that's all I've done it twice. Yeah, exactly. Go be free, my child. And then they all, then they kill everybody. But yeah, the Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition just came out, and that's even as beautiful as 2. So they redid the graphics, the sound, like when buildings collapse now, the bricks, the graphics, it's freaking great. I'm having a blast.
So you can have a blast as much as you want to, Bob, but do not ever pass gas in an Uber in the UK, apparently.
I swore that's why I was only like a 4.6 because I farted in one of the Ubers. But this dude got charged.
Well, and so the headline was a little misleading. He didn't get charged with assault because he farted in an Uber.
No, they got in a fight.
Yeah, he got charged with assault because he wound up punching the driver. There's a difference.
And granted, it is Barstool Sports, so it's you know what I've been loving. Watching is I'm a huge Dave Portnoy fan. I don't know if you are or not. I freaking love the guy that started Barstool, and he does these pizza, like a one bite pizza reviews at every place in New York. So when he made it. There's so many pizzerias in New York. Every day he goes and makes a video about eating one slice of pizza at every place in New York. I don't know if you've seen those or not.
You brought these up before, and I went and took a look at a few of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're outstanding. But that's where this article was from Barstool. So I mean, obviously they're writing stuff just to be silly. But is that one fake? Like it's the guy at Costco, and then he's at that fart in the phone. Are those fake? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah. Because I see a bunch of those with like the same audio on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like this echo, like
I don't know.
It sounds like I want it to be.
You need that Godzilla burping guy walking around.
Oh my god, I haven't watched those videos in ages. I don't know if he's in quarantine. I gotta look him up. Is it Yanagi?
See if he's still roaming the countryside.
Yeah, well, no, I think he was from Amsterdam or something. The guys that do the charter videos haven't done anything because of quarantine. This quarantine sucks. I get no burp and fart videos no more. Nothing.
Well, and I mean, who knew? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I genuinely did not know Barnes and Noble was still a thing, and apparently they got breached.
From who?
Somebody who apparently knew that Barnes and Noble was still around.
Weren't they? I mean, obviously, are they still Ann Arbor based? Weren't they? Was that Borders?
That was Borders.
And
Walden Books, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where there's a Barnes and Noble. Is there? Is there one on Rochester Road, the old bowling alley? I think that's
there was one over by Oakland Mall. I don't know, but I haven't been by there, and I can't tell you how long. So it was like 14 in John Aris.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I know, like second. I don't know which one.
I don't remember the last one.
Yeah, I think the one in Rochester Road, the old bowling alley across from the Target. But like, I think, do people go like Second and Charles? Is that like, I'm assuming people are going to those more now? There's one.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah, I mean, if they're open, looking for
Noble.
board games. Apparently, there's been a huge surge of like board game purchases. Because people looking for stuff to do stuck at home. By the way, huge shout out. I'm just going to tell everybody, because I played it a couple times now. What Do You Meme is a phenomenal game, and it is a ton of fun. And there are expansion packs that you can get for it. Like there's a kid safe version of it. There's like a Rick and Morty one. There's a bunch of other ones that are out there. That is a hell of a game to sit around and play with people. It's a lot of fun.
Is it the same apples to apples formula? Cards Against Humanity formula, where somebody picks what they think is the funniest?
You have a picture and everybody picks you got 7 cards, pick the one that matches the meme, and
Gotcha.
And that was the we talked about like baseball cards going back to normal or going through the roof again because people are collecting. I just watched a thing from Wall Street Journal on YouTube about why is the market still doing well, when all these people are still out of work and the economy, the economy's doing bad. Why is the market still doing good? Apparently day trading is taking off
the companies
again. That too, but day trading, I guess, is taking off again, where like the percentage of individual traders is like it is all-time high right now.
So we're fully back to 2001 now, is what you're saying.
Well, people are downloading Robinhood and they're
right
day trading. They're buying stock now. So like, yeah, all the stuff that we thought, throw away all my baseball cards and all that crap, and now it's like shit. I got to dig all those things out because they're
which closet did I put those in?
Oh, I know where they're at. The problem is I got to go get them all gem mint rated. Otherwise, I can't sell them. Nobody's going to buy them.
Gah.
I know. They're like, it's like $5 a card. But it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like, Barry Sanders is sitting there. It's an $80 bill. I got to send it out for $5. Do I do it and sell it, or do I, what do I do? Do I keep it?
It's still quite a profit on it.
That's what I'm saying. So at this point, it's like, and then that Nerd Out toys, like I got the Darth Vader head full of all, and the guy's like, I'll give you top dollar for it because you got all the guns. I'm like, what am I doing with it? It's sitting in the closet, with my Boba Fett Shogun Warrior that I didn't put the stickers on. I know.
The wonderful Great Lakes Comic-Con purchase.
Right. Well, what are you supposed to do with all this crap now? At this point,
Exactly. There's only so much space on your desk at home, desk at work, here on the bar.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
I lost my desk at home, so yeah.
All right. That's anything else?
No.
Then let's call it a night, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're gonna wrap things up with this episode 370. I'd like to thank August from the city of Hamtramck for shedding some light on voting. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. Well, actually, we are home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.